director for Team Triple Slash.
My name's Diana Ngo, and I am an animator and level designer.
As an art director, my job is to establish an aesthetic for the game that my entire team can understand and produce, and then I have to connect all of those assets with the technical stuff. So I have to be able to talk to coders to a certain extent, and I have to be able to talk to my artists too. And so when you have, I can't remember, how many did we start off with? I don't know, 5, 6. You know, when I'm just given 6 artists just dumped in my lap, they all come from different places and they have different skills, and when you know, I didn't know what their skills were. I didn't know what they could do. I think they didn't know what they could do either. We've all grown in a lot of ways working on this project. I arrived at the aesthetics for the game basically by a process of iteration, but whenever you're trying to establish your game's style, you have to reference what already exists. I think of it kind of like a game pitch. It's like this game meets this game with this twist. That's a very brief way of describing a mechanic. So a brief way of we needed a similar brief way of describing our aesthetic, and so like drawing on some of the value layering of Limbo with Art Deco.
Creating the animations for the environment starts with looking at the art that you and Evan create and seeing what can be animated. In Zone 1 there was gears, and Zone 2 is more of a city where it's open, so we have birds flying around and just animate it in Flash or After Effects and export them and send them to the individual sprites to the programmers.
Advice for people who want to get into game development, that at least on the art side, draw every day, work really hard, and be prepared to be very, very wrong. Be prepared to throw your work away and to take feedback from other people, because I think it's a defensive thing for us artists. We get very attached to our work, but when you're working on a game, it's not your work, it's the group's work, and it's not even your team's work. Eventually it becomes something that, like, it becomes part of the player's experience, and that requires a lot of work being thrown away or iterated on. Get used to it. Get used to burning your most precious things you've ever drawn. You'll be better for it.
Always been interested in both art and computers, so I want to study more about both sides so that I know how they interact better. I grew up playing video games, and I would always try and play them the way that they were not meant to be played, and so now I get to design games the way I want to.